Right, these have been shaped on the stone. I've rubbed these three already. I do this for about a minute, minute and a half, just to double check the facets. I just use 1500 or 2000 wet and dry. Constantly move it around on a spongy or a folded towel. Just make sure there's no dirt or grit about. Always rinse off your wet and dry paper. Make sure there's no rubbish on it. Otherwise you're going to get scratches. It's like 25 cents for half a sheet of this, so once it's used it goes in the bin. Don't reuse it because it will gather dust and stuff. Just move it about. I'm hardly putting any pressure on them. Firm but not pushing too hard because you'll pop it off the end of the stick. Just give it a final run around. Like I say, when I've spun it on the stone at the last video you saw, or the last part you saw, then give it a good spray off to get any residue off there. And just check your shape. Check it dry as well, because that's what will show you where your facets are. Try and get a light reflection so you can see where the facets are. So when it's dry, if I can get in the camera, when it's dry you can see already it's starting to shine up a bit on that 1500. The shape looks okay, so then that's fine. So that's 4 done. I've got one more to do, and then this little one. So I'll give that a quick rub and then go over to polishing. Right, I use, this is a felt pad. Anyone can buy these anywhere, and basically it's just on a machine that goes at the speed I want it to. Other people use leather, other people use all sorts. Final polish, that's cork. I use that for larger opals, and I also use it for the glass. That's what I've used all my life. Fine grade of cork. So this hasn't been used for a couple of days, so I'm just making sure that cerium's getting into the felt because it's dry weather. And I always keep this covered with a towel. Right, let's have a go with one of these. Now you don't need to feed it up all the time, because all you're doing is taking the cerium off the felt again. Keep it moving, moderate pressure. Moderate pressure. And just keep the thing moving around and around. Depends on the shape of your stone. Don't hold it in one place, because even cerium will distort a shape. The reason I know that is I've used this cerium oxide for pretty much 40 years, like I say, with the glass. And if you hold it long enough on the glass when I'm engraving, it will distort the glass, so it will distort the opal as well if you just keep it in one spot. But you must keep this covered. People say they get scratches in their stones, they can't understand why. If I don't keep this covered, even when I sweep up in here in the workshop, the dust will settle on the felt. Next time I go to polish, only takes one piece that's larger than the cerium particles, then you've got a scratch. You don't have to panic about it, but just a wet towel. Every now and again, if you're passing, just give it a little squirt with a water bottle just to keep it damp. Stops the cork drying out. There's the felt drying out as well. I'm pretty much sure that's quite close to being fully polished, but normally what I do is do a double check. Cindy will double check them, she'll come over and check them, because you do miss parts now and again. But you can do it on your own as well. It's just that it's easier too. So then I'll just spray with the water bottle. I keep my cerium with a lid on as well. That's the rest of the parcel that I'm cutting from. So I keep my cerium always covered when I'm not using it. Then just dry it off. If I can get some of it. Dry it off. Give it a little check. No scratches, no facets. And then, like I say, double check it under a strong light before. When it comes off the stick, the back's already done, cutting edge. A little bit of fur on there with dust, that's all. And I'll do one more. Which one? Where's that high domey thing? And this one. Don't push too hard, just firm. And I don't have my felt going too fast. You can see that, you can see the speed this is going. And obviously up here it's going faster than nearer the middle of the spindle. Again, you can do the edges on here, you don't need to have the top part, but I like to use the top for the edges. I'm keeping the brush on a little bit longer this time because it's not been used for a while, so the felt's quite dry. But literally on and off. Don't use too thick a mixture of cerium and water. Just make it like, I would say like full fat milk. Doesn't need to be stronger than that. You put too much cerium in, the cerium starts grinding against itself and you don't actually get anywhere. And you're wasting money. Should be enough. And if you're using super glue like me, I stand these upside down in a bit of glass of water, just warm, not hot, like that, or regular water. A stone on a stick that size, 4mm, is going to take about 2 hours, hour and a half, depending on your temperature in your house. Just give that a wipe. So that one's done. So yeah, there's 1, 2, I've got 3 more to polish, but they're all similar grade. And they've all come from this rough. The parcel I showed. And I picked out, well, I ended up with 5 random pieces. I'm not saying 100% will cut, but you'll get a good percentage. And you'll cut stones like this if you take your time. It's probably going to make about 0.7, 0.8. That one's quite a high dome. Right, so that's the 5 stones finished from the parcel that I had on Facebook, if you see the post. It was 150 grams, sorry, 30 grams, 150 carats of rough. Shouldn't measure carats until you've cut it, but somebody always asks, so just over an ounce. And I ended up cutting these 5 out of the 5 pieces I pulled. I pulled 4 originally, then pulled another one. So, not bad little stones at all. Range from just over a carat, I'm having a guess here, down to about 0.6, 0.7 ring stones or little pendants. Whatever you want to do, it's up to the jeweler. But that shows you that this stuff cuts. There's plenty more to cut from it. I'm not going to sell this now because obviously I've used it. Well, I am selling it because what I'll do is I'm doing it for the same price, 250, and I'll include these 5 cut stones as a one-off. I'm not doing this again, obviously, because it's I'm not in the habit of cutting parcel, selling rough and cutting them for people. But I was just showing you that this material does cut, and that's what you can get from it.